RCR restructures, NASCAR announces its TV deal officially, and RFK announced who's going to drive that 60. Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, RCR has shuffled a few people around. Let's get into that first. Via RCR on the Twitter's news, Richard Childress Racing makes several key competition leadership appointments designed to strengthen the organization's operations. Andy Petrie will be moving to Executive Vice President. Justin Alexander is now the Competition Director, and Eric Kamenek is now the Technical Director in the NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series. So Justin Alexander, a really sharp guy in the world of racing. I think he'll do great there. Andy Petrie has done great on every job he's held at RCR. He's done a good job, so I expect nothing less going forward. And I'm not super familiar with Mr. Kamenek. I hope I'm saying his last name right. But I'm sure he will do a good job as well. And hopefully they'll cut down on the DNFs for both teams. And, well, they had 3 wins with the 8, so we'll see what they can do with the 3 next season going forward. Amazon TNT snag partial NASCAR rights as stock car circuit enters streaming era. Fox Sports NBC will still air the majority of races when the new deal begins in 2025. This via Rick Porter of The Hollywood Reporter. NASCAR is betting on streaming in its next media rights package. The auto racing circuit has finalized a 7-year deal for its Cup Series with 4 media companies. Fox Sports, NBC Sports will continue to carry the majority of the 38 annual races, but NASCAR is also adding Amazon's Prime Video and Warner Brothers Discovery's TNT to the mix. The new deal is worth $7.7 billion across the 7-year span, a 40% increase over the current agreement. It's set to begin in 2025 and runs through 2031. So there you go, $7.7 billion and a 40% increase. That should more than compensate whatever the teams want. So the teams should get paid better going forward. Not only that, purses should rise up. Hopefully NASCAR, with all this new money influxing in, hopefully NASCAR starts posting the purses after the race like they did back in the day. You'd have the points, and then you'd have how much money each driver made for finishing where they finished. So hopefully that continues going forward now that they've got all this hammered out. So good news so far, and Fox and NBC continuing to carry the majority of the races, so that's not going to be anything different. But now let's dive into that 10-race summer series where it brings TNT back and Amazon Prime Video. In between, though, Prime Video and TNT will each have exclusive rights to 5 races per season. Both outlets' set of contests will run in consecutive weeks. Prime Video will be the first streaming exclusive partner for NASCAR and adds a second major U.S. sport to its portfolio alongside its Thursday night NFL package. The TNT races will also stream live on Max as part of the latter's Bleacher Report sports add-on, and True TV and Max will also carry practice and qualifying sessions during the second half of the season. So we finally got answers to the streaming questions, not only who it's going to be, but how the format is going to play out. Amazon is going to be, for their 5 races, those races will be exclusively on Amazon. They won't be anywhere else. So if you don't have Amazon Prime, you will not have those races. So that's going to upset a lot of people. Some people are going to be happy because they've got Prime. It's going to split it both ways. And then TNT, it's going to be on TNT. So you're going to need cable or whatever to have TNT. But also, if you don't have cable or TNT and you have HBO Max is what it used to be called. They just call it Max now. It will be streaming on Max, and then you, of course, if you've got True TV and stuff like that, we will be able to watch qualifying and practice for those races that are on those. And that right there is what has sort of split people down the middle. Some people are very staunchly, I'm not going to pay any extra money for NASCAR. Some people are like, good, I know exactly what I need to do. If I'm a cord cutter, I know I need to have this subscription and this subscription and this subscription if I've gotten rid of my cable or satellite bill going forward. So it's sort of a mixed reaction, but I think it is good for NASCAR going forward, and I'm going to talk about that right after we see what Steve Phelps had to say about it. Our goal was to secure long-term stability with an optimized mix of distribution platforms and innovative partners that would allow us to grow the sport while delivering our product to fans wherever they are, and we've achieved that today. NASCAR President Steve Phelps said in a statement, NASCAR has been a cornerstone property for both new and established platforms for several decades. These agreements demonstrate the staying power of our sport and the consistent large-scale audience it delivers. This landmark deal underscores our collective growth opportunity to drive engagement across this diverse collection of platforms, whether on broadcast, cable, or direct to consumer. So this very much echoes the previous statements he has made as he is trying to cover all of his bases going forward, because it looks like cable is sort of, going the way of the dinosaur. So they're just trying to have their toes in as many markets as possible. So whichever way this thing breaks, when it finally breaks one way or the other, NASCAR will have a partner for that going forward when that day comes, no matter what happens. So from that side of it, it does look like a good idea. And a lot of people that have cut the cord are super happy about this. A lot of people that refuse to cut the cord are not super happy about this. And let's take a look from NFJJ, because he brought some very interesting perspective to this that I do think needs to be brought up. How NASCAR agreed to keep only 9 races on network TV is beyond me. And to me, I think that is a very, very fair criticism, because when you put it on just regular network TV, it's always going to get better ratings. Now, the companies that have bought these, they see the value in it, so I don't think the price is ever going to go down on stuff like this. But the viewership numbers are definitely going to go down on those races that are not on network TV. We know that for a fact. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out going forward. But that is definitely a fair criticism. If you have just an antenna, you're only going to be able to see 9 races this season without some type of either cable or streaming option going forward. So just how this actually plays out is going to be very interesting. But I do think NASCAR is doing the smart thing overall by dipping their toes into the streaming arena, because I feel like eventually 10 years from it, like, it sounds crazy now to a lot of people, but 10 years from now, I think the landscape is going to be very different, and it's better to be early on these than to be late, which NASCAR has typically been in the past, so they're at least being proactive. And one more thing before we take off here today, back behind the wheel, chase that coveted Harley J. Earl trophy. Welcome to the number 60 David Reagan, hashtag stage 60. So RFK has finally answered what's going on with the number 60. The number 60 will be coming back to the Cup Series, and David Reagan is going to attempt Daytona for them. No information beyond that, but it looks like RFK has now joined the ranks of Project 91 and the 84 car for Legacy, and the who's the other one? The 67 for 2311. 2311 has a new logo too, by the way. It looks like this. That has been met with some consternation. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Let me know down below if you like the new 2311 logo. After 4 years, they needed a refresh. I kind of like the old one better, but the new one I think works. Maybe they'll do it sort of like Hoonigan, where they have several different logos. They'll use the old one for some stuff. They'll use the new one. I can see the new one sort of fitting different aspects of things going forward. But yeah, RFK, back to the main point, RFK now joins the ranks of those teams that have the option seat available for super subs, or whatever you want to call them, ringers, whatever you want to call them. All right, that's all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, would love to have your subscription. If not, I'll keep making these things. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate you guys as well. If you got a question, comment, or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section. I'll try to get to as many of these as I can. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace. Oh, the link to the merch store. We got a buy one get one on T-shirts right now, and you'll see it when you go to the checkout. You'll see the code. You don't have to type anything in. The code will be done once you go to checkout. You won't see it anytime before that. But when you put your cart in, when you put your items in the actual checkout zone, you'll see that the free T-shirts go, and they do stack. So if you get 4, it's not just a 2 T-shirt deal. All right, I've explained it enough. You get it. Buy one get one. T-shirts. Website. Peace.